The fall. The Meridian warships appeared without warning, their obsidian hulls blotting out the stars above Earth's major cities. Admiral Vex watched from the bridge of his command vessel as humanity's primitive defense systems attempted to engage his fleet. Their nuclear weapons dissipated harmlessly against Meridian shields, their railguns too slow to track the alien ships. Pathetic, he chittered to his executive officer. These creatures thought they could stand against us. They barely achieved lunar colonization. But deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility known only to 7 humans who had long since died, something stirred. Quantum sensors detected the catastrophic collapse of human civilization above. Emergency protocols activated, sending power surging through systems that had lain dormant for decades. Dr. Elena Santos, the facility's lead scientist, had known this day might come. As she initiated the final shutdown sequence of her consciousness, she spoke to the facility's AI one last time. Remember the directive, Atlas. Wake them only when there's no other choice. Now, 50 years later, that choice had arrived. In a vast chamber at the heart of the underwater complex, rows of specialized stasis pods hummed to life. Each contained a volunteer who had undergone extensive modification, genetic engineering, cybernetic enhancement, neural augmentation. They were Project Phoenix, humanity's ultimate insurance policy. The facility's AI, Atlas, began its awakening sequence. Critical population threshold breached. Human civilization collapsed. Initiating Project Phoenix revival protocols. In the first pod, Commander Maya Chen's enhanced consciousness stirred. Her modified brain processed decades of sensor data in moments as her body temperature rose to operational levels. The pod's crystalline surface became transparent, revealing her form, athletic and augmented, with neural interfaces visible beneath her skin. 20 meters away, Dr. James Walker's pod activated. The brilliant biotechnologist had modified his own genome to enhance his cognitive capabilities and cellular regeneration. His eyes opened, glowing faintly with the nanites that augmented his vision. 3 more pods activated in sequence, Security Chief David Torres, whose skeleton had been reinforced with experimental composites, Communications Specialist Dr. Sarah O'Neill, whose brain could interface directly with any technology, and Combat Engineer Marcus Singh, whose enhanced reflexes and spatial awareness made him lethal in any battlefield. As the 5 members of Phoenix team emerged, Atlas materialized as a holographic avatar. Welcome back, Phoenix team. I regret to inform you that worst-case parameters have been met. Earth's surface is under complete alien control. Human population has dropped below sustainable levels. Maya steadied herself against her pod, enhanced muscles quickly adapting to movement after decades of stasis. Status report, Atlas. What are we facing? The AI projected a holographic display of Earth, showing red clusters of alien activity. The invaders call themselves the Meridians. They arrived 53 years ago. Despite significant resistance, conventional military forces were overwhelmed within 5 years. The enemy believes they have achieved total victory. James studied the tactical display, his enhanced mind processing the data streams. Their technology is advanced, but not insurmountable. Atlas, what weaknesses have you identified? The Meridians are susceptible to certain frequencies of electromagnetic radiation. Their environmental suits suggest vulnerability to Earth's atmosphere. Most importantly, they believe their victory is absolute. Security protocols are minimal. Sarah connected to the facility's systems, her consciousness expanding through its network. I'm detecting their communications. They're converting Earth into a mining colony. Their arrogance is stunning. Marcus was already checking their weapons cache. These bastards think they've killed every human on Earth. They have no idea what's coming. Maya moved to the center of the chamber, and the others instinctively gathered around her. She had been chosen to lead not just for her tactical brilliance, but for her ability to inspire, to remind them of their humanity even as they transcended it. "We all knew this day might come," she said, her voice steady. "We volunteered knowing we could wake to find everything we loved destroyed. But humanity isn't finished. It lives in us, and we're going to show these aliens exactly what humans are capable of." Atlas's hologram shifted. "The facility contains everything you need: weapons, equipment, and intelligence. We have been monitoring the Meridians since their arrival. All data is at your disposal." "What's our first target?" David asked, checking his reinforced combat suit. Maya studied the tactical display. "We start small and silent. Let them think they're facing ghosts. We hit their patrols, gather intelligence, and steal their tech. We learn everything about them while they know nothing about us. Then, when the time is right, we show them exactly why underestimating humanity was their greatest mistake." As Phoenix team prepared for their first mission, the Meridians continued their victory celebrations above, unaware that deep beneath the ocean, humanity's response to their genocide was about to emerge. They had killed billions, but they had missed 5. And those 5 were about to prove why that was the biggest mistake they'd ever made. The war for Earth wasn't over. It was just beginning. Project Phoenix. The Meridian Patrol never saw them coming. In the ruins of what was once Singapore, 3 alien soldiers moved carelessly through the decaying streets, their environmental suits gleaming in the moonlight. They had done this patrol 1,000 times before, never encountering anything more threatening than wild dogs. From her position atop a crumbling skyscraper, Maya watched through enhanced vision as David moved silently into position. His reinforced muscles allowed him to navigate the debris field without making a sound, despite his impressive size. Sarah's consciousness was already probing the aliens' communication systems, ensuring no distress signals would escape. "Their suits are fascinating," James whispered through their neural link, his modified eyes analyzing the Meridian technology. "The atmospheric processing unit is their weak point, just below the neck joint. One precise hit and the Earth's air will do our work for us." Marcus had his position on the opposite building, his enhanced spatial awareness allowing him to calculate the perfect angle for what was about to happen. "Ready on your mark, Commander." Maya gave the signal. What followed wasn't just an attack, it was a demonstration of what Project Phoenix had truly created. David moved with impossible speed, his reinforced frame allowing him to cross the distance to the first meridian in less than a second. His augmented strength crushed the alien's atmospheric processor before it could react. The second meridian raised its weapon, but Marcus had already fired, a single shot from his modified rifle striking the exact point James had identified. The alien collapsed, its suit breached, Earth's oxygen-rich atmosphere becoming a deadly poison. The third tried to activate its emergency beacon, but Sarah's digital consciousness had already locked down its communications. Maya descended from her position, moving like a ghost through the shadows. Her enhanced muscles and neural interfaces working in perfect harmony as she eliminated the final target. The entire engagement had lasted less than 10 seconds. "Atlas, we have secured Meridian technology for analysis," Maya reported as her team gathered the alien equipment. "How are the other sites progressing?" The AI's voice resonated through their neural links. "Similar success across all target locations. The Meridians remain unaware of our existence. Their central command attributes the losses to equipment malfunction and environmental hazards." James was already dissecting one of the alien suits, his enhanced mind processing the technology at an accelerated rate. "Their overconfidence works in our favor. These suits are relatively simple, designed for basic environmental protection. They never expected to need combat-grade equipment on a conquered world." Sarah's consciousness expanded through the local network, gathering intelligence. "They're planning to expand their mining operations. 3 new sites scheduled for development. Their cargo ships are lightly defended, they don't believe they need protection here." "Perfect," Maya smiled, her enhanced vision already mapping out potential attack vectors. Those cargo ships will give us access to their orbital facilities. But first, we need to make contact with any human survivors. Atlas, what do your deep scans show? Multiple underground settlements detected. Approximately 100,000 humans have survived in deep bunkers and remote locations. The Meridians believe them too few to pose a threat and largely ignore them. David secured the last piece of alien technology. Those survivors could be valuable allies. With our knowledge and their numbers, we could start building a real resistance. Agreed, Maya nodded. But we need to be careful. The Meridians think they're hunting rats in the ruins, let's keep them thinking that while we build our strength. James, how long until you can replicate their environmental suit technology? With my enhanced processing speed and the facility's manufacturing capabilities? 48 hours. We can start producing countermeasures immediately after. Marcus checked his weapon's power core. The real question is, how long until they realize they're not dealing with ordinary survivors? Maya's enhanced eyes gleamed in the darkness. By the time they figure it out, it'll be too late. Atlas, begin Phase 2 of Operation Phoenix. It's time to show these aliens that humanity doesn't just survive, we evolve. Back in their underwater facility, the team began analyzing their captured technology. The Meridians had made a crucial mistake. They had judged humanity by its past, never considering what 50 years of dedicated preparation and enhancement might produce. James worked tirelessly in the lab, his enhanced mind processing complex alien engineering at speeds no normal human could match. Sarah's consciousness danced through captured data streams, building a complete picture of Meridian operations and vulnerabilities. Marcus and David modified their weapons with the new intelligence, while Maya planned their next strikes. They call us primitive, Maya said, studying the holographic display of Earth's surface. They think they've won because they destroyed our cities, our armies, our infrastructure. But they don't understand what Project Phoenix really is. We're not just enhanced humans, we're humanity's potential unleashed. Atlas's hologram shifted. Commander, I'm detecting increased Meridian activity in Sector 7. They appear to be searching for something. Good, Maya smiled. Phase 2 begins now. Let's remind these aliens why humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to adapt. James, are those modifications to their environmental suits ready? Better than ready, he grinned, his augmented eyes glowing. Wait until you see what happens when we introduce our own atmospheric cocktail into their filtration systems. The war for Earth was entering a new phase. The Meridians had conquered a planet of humans, but they were about to face something else entirely, humans who had evolved specifically to fight them. Project Phoenix wasn't just a last resort, it was humanity's next step forward. And the aliens were about to learn exactly what that meant. Counter-strike. The Meridian mining complex sprawled across what was once the Brazilian rainforest. Massive excavators tore into the earth while alien overseers monitored their automated systems. None of them noticed the slight shimmer in the air as 5 enhanced humans moved through their security perimeter. Their automated defenses are even more basic than we thought, Sarah communicated through their neural network, her consciousness already infiltrating the facility's systems. They really believe no one could possibly challenge them. Maya's enhanced vision tracked the movement patterns of the alien workers. Confidence is one thing, but this level of complacency. James, what's your analysis? James, his augmented mind processing environmental data at incredible speeds, responded instantly. They've stripped out 90% of their security protocols. Even their environmental suits are running on minimal power. They're practically inviting us in. Marcus had already identified 16 critical structural weaknesses in the facility's design. Their mining equipment is drawing massive power. One well-placed charge and the whole grid goes down. Good, Maya nodded. But first, we make contact. David, status on the human life signs. Confirmed, David's enhanced senses had detected what the Meridian's sensors had missed. 200 survivors in the deep tunnels below. They've been hiding right under the aliens' feet. Operation Underground Network was proceeding exactly as planned. For 3 months, Phoenix team had been systematically identifying and contacting survivor colonies while simultaneously sabotaging Meridian operations. Each strike was precisely calculated to appear as an industrial accident or environmental failure. Sarah, begin the blackout sequence. Marcus, get ready to breach their secondary systems. James, deploy the atmospheric adjusters. David, you're with me, we're going to introduce ourselves to our new allies. The operation unfolded with mechanical precision. Sarah's consciousness invaded the facility's network, systematically shutting down power grids and communication arrays. Marcus's enhanced reflexes allowed him to plant charges at exactly the right moments, creating a cascade of mechanical failures. James released his modified nanites into the facility's air filtration system. Within minutes, the Meridian overseers found their environmental suits malfunctioning, forcing them to evacuate. Not a single shot had been fired. Maya and David descended into the tunnel network, their enhanced vision piercing the darkness. They found the survivors well organized and surprisingly well equipped. Years of scavenging Meridian technology had taught them resilience. "We've been watching you," the survivor leader, a weathered woman named Rosa, said as they made contact. "At first, we thought you were myths, ghosts in the ruins. But then we realized, you're something else entirely." Maya smiled. "We're humanity's insurance policy. And we're here to help you take back our world. But we need your help." Over the next few hours, as James and Marcus secured the facility above, Maya explained Project Phoenix to the survivors. She told them about the underwater facility, the enhanced soldiers, and their plan to systematically dismantle the Meridian occupation. "They think they've won," Maya explained, "because they destroyed our military, our governments, our infrastructure. But they don't understand human nature. We don't just survive, we adapt, we evolve, we overcome." Rosa's people had already begun collecting the abandoned Meridian technology. "We've been studying their systems for years," Rosa said. "We know their weaknesses, but we never had the means to exploit them." "Now you do," David replied. "And you're not alone. There are other colonies like yours, all across the planet. We're connecting them, building a network." Sarah's consciousness reached out through their neural link. "Commander, Phase 1 is complete. The Meridians are reporting another catastrophic environmental system failure. Their regional command is beginning to suspect these aren't accidents." "Good," Maya smiled. "Let them worry. Let them wonder. By the time they figure it out, we'll be ready." In the months that followed, Phoenix team repeated this operation dozens of times. Each survivor colony they contacted became another node in their growing network. James's enhanced mind allowed him to teach survivors how to modify Meridian technology. Sarah's digital consciousness linked their communications. Marcus and David trained them in combat tactics designed specifically to exploit alien weaknesses. The Meridians, still believing themselves invincible rulers of a conquered world, failed to notice the pattern until it was too late. Their mining operations began experiencing increasing accidents. Their supply lines suffered mysterious failures. Their communication networks became unreliable. "They still think they're fighting primitive survivors," Maya observed during a strategy session with her team. "They're looking for guerrilla fighters with stolen weapons. They haven't realized they're facing an engineered counterforce specifically designed to defeat them." Atlas's hologram materialized. "Commander, the Meridian High Command has finally ordered a full security review. They're beginning to realize these incidents aren't random." "Perfect timing," Maya smiled. "Phase 3 is ready. James." James's augmented eyes glowed with satisfaction. "The modified environmental suits are ready for mass production. Every survivor colony can now manufacture them. The Meridians are about to discover that their greatest advantage, our atmosphere, has become their greatest weakness. The war for Earth was shifting. The Meridians had conquered a planet of humans, but they were about to face an army of evolved post-humans, supported by thousands of well-trained and newly equipped survivors. Their perfect conquest was about to become their perfect nightmare. And humanity was just getting started. The tide turns. The Meridian High Command vessel hung in low Earth orbit, its obsidian hull reflecting the planet's scarred surface. Admiral Vex paced the command deck, his movements betraying growing agitation as he reviewed the latest reports. Another manufacturing center lost, he chittered angrily. How? We control this planet. The tactical display told a different story. Over the past 6 months, Meridian operations had suffered devastating setbacks. Facilities were failing, supply lines collapsing, and communication networks becoming increasingly unreliable. Most disturbing were the reports of entire outposts going dark, only to be found abandoned, their environmental systems mysteriously compromised. Deep beneath the Pacific, Maya and her team watched the chaos unfold through Sarah's digital infiltration of Meridian networks. They're finally beginning to understand, Maya observed. But they still don't know what they're really fighting. Project Phoenix had evolved beyond its original scope. What began as 5 enhanced humans had grown into a global resistance network. James's modified Meridian technology had spread through survivor colonies worldwide. Sarah's consciousness had woven their communications into an undetectable web. Marcus and David had trained thousands in advanced combat tactics. Their orbital defense grid is adapting, Sarah reported, her consciousness threading through enemy systems. They're implementing new security protocols, but... She smiled, they're still based on their old assumptions about human capabilities. James looked up from his workstation, his augmented eyes glowing with excitement. The mass production of our modified environmental suits is complete. Every major survivor colony is now equipped. More importantly, I've finished analyzing their ship-based life support systems. Maya nodded, understanding the implications. They use the same basic technology as their personal suits. Just scaled up. Exactly, James confirmed. Their entire fleet shares the same vulnerability. They never considered they'd need to defend against their own technology being turned against them. Atlas, Maya called, show me current deployment of survivor forces. The AI projected a global hologram, showing thousands of points of light representing their hidden army. Each survivor colony had been transformed into a resistance cell, armed with modified Meridian technology and trained in advanced combat techniques. The Meridians have lost 30% of their ground operations, Atlas reported. Their mining output has dropped by 60%. They're beginning to withdraw forces to defensive positions. David, who had just returned from training the latest group of resistance fighters, added, the survivors are ready. They're not just fighting for survival anymore, they're fighting to win. Maya studied the tactical display, her enhanced mind processing multiple strategic scenarios simultaneously. Time for Phase 4. Sarah, begin the orbital infiltration sequence. Marcus, coordinate with the resistance cells. James, prepare the atmospheric delivery systems. The plan was audacious, but after months of preparation, they were ready. The Meridians had built their entire conquest on the assumption that Earth's atmosphere was their greatest ally in controlling the planet. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Over the next week, resistance cells worldwide launched synchronized attacks on Meridian ground installations. But these weren't simple guerrilla strikes, they were precisely coordinated operations using technology that matched or exceeded Meridian capabilities. The aliens' response was predictable. They retreated to their orbital facilities, believing themselves safe in space. They never realized this was exactly what Phoenix team had planned for. Their fleet is clustering in defensive formations, Sarah reported, her consciousness now extending into orbital systems. All ships are operating on internal life support, just as we predicted. James activated his modified atmospheric processors, initiating transmission of the altered atmospheric compound. Their filtration systems won't detect the change until it's too late. Through their neural network, Phoenix team watched as their plan unfolded. The same technology that had made Earth's atmosphere toxic to the Meridians was now being introduced into their ship's life support systems. But this version was different, designed not to kill, but to incapacitate. They thought they could transform our world to suit their needs, Maya said, watching as ship after ship reported system failures. They never considered we might transform ourselves to defeat them. The Meridian fleet, pride of their empire, began to drift in orbit as their crews fell unconscious. Emergency protocols activated, but these had been designed to counter external attacks, not an enemy that had completely subverted their own technology. In the Underwater Facilities Command Center, Maya addressed the gathered resistance leaders through their secure network. Today, we take back our orbital space. Tomorrow, we show the Meridian Empire exactly what humanity has become. They came to Earth expecting to find a primitive species they could easily conquer. Instead, they're about to face humanity's next evolutionary step. The war for Earth was entering its final phase. The Meridians had ruled through technological superiority, but humanity had done what it did best, adapted, evolved, and turned the enemy's strength into their greatest weakness. As captured Meridian ships were secured by resistance forces trained to operate them, Maya prepared for the final confrontation. The aliens were about to learn that conquering humanity wasn't just difficult, it was impossible. Because humans don't just fight back, they transform themselves into exactly what they need to be to win. Rising from ashes. The Meridian Empire's response fleet emerged from hyperspace in waves, their massive warships casting shadows across Earth's orbit. They had come to rescue their conquest force, only to find their orbital facilities captured and their ground forces in retreat. Admiral Supreme Klex watched the tactical display with growing horror. Impossible, he hissed. This was a pacified world. How could primitives accomplish this? The answer came not in words, but in action. The captured Meridian ships, now crewed by enhanced humans and resistance fighters, moved with impossible precision. Their maneuvers defied standard combat algorithms, their tactics unlike anything in Meridian military doctrine. From the Underwater Facilities Command Center, Maya coordinated the defense. Her enhanced mind, linked through Sarah's consciousness to every ship and fighter in their fleet, orchestrated a battle plan that no conventional military could have executed. They still don't understand, she commented, watching the Meridian fleet's predictable formation. They think they're fighting the same humans they conquered 50 years ago. James, are the new weapons ready? James, his augmented eyes tracking multiple data streams simultaneously, nodded. The quantum phase cannons are online. We've modified their own technology in ways they never imagined possible. They won't be able to adapt. The battle that followed would be studied in military academies across the galaxy for centuries to come. The Meridian fleet, despite its superior numbers and firepower, found itself facing an enemy that seemed to anticipate every move, counter every strategy. Sarah's consciousness flowed through both human and alien ships, coordinating their forces with microscopic precision. Marcus's enhanced spatial awareness, now linked to the fleet's targeting systems, guided their attacks to exploit weaknesses the Meridians didn't even know they had. Their shields are useless against the phase cannons, David reported from the lead battleship. They never considered someone could modify their own technology to bypass their defenses completely. The Meridian command ship tried to rally their forces, but they were fighting an enemy that had spent 50 years preparing specifically for this moment. Project Phoenix hadn't just created enhanced soldiers, it had given birth to a new kind of warfare. Your empire made a fundamental mistake, Maya transmitted to the Meridian flagship. You judged us by our past, never considering what we might become. Humanity doesn't just adapt, we transform ourselves to meet any challenge. Admiral Klexa's response was filled with rage and disbelief. What are you? What have you done to our technology? We are humanity's next step, Maya replied. We are what your invasion forced us to become. And now you face a choice, retreat and never return, or face complete annihilation. The battle reached its climax as James activated their final weapon, a modified version of the Meridian's own atmospheric technology, designed to shut down their ship's life support systems simultaneously. The alien fleet, already in disarray, found itself paralyzed. This is impossible, Klex transmitted as his ship's systems failed. You were primitives, savages. No, Maya corrected. We were human. And that's something you never understood. Our greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons, it's our ability to evolve, to become exactly what we need to be to survive. The Meridian fleet retreated in chaos, leaving their conquered territory and captured ships behind. But this wasn't just a military victory, it was the dawn of a new era for humanity. In the aftermath, Maya stood with her team in the underwater facility, watching as survivors emerged from hiding across the planet. Earth would need to be rebuilt, but not as it was before. Project Phoenix had given humanity more than just a means of resistance, it had shown them a path forward. The Meridians will spread word of their defeat, Sarah reported, her consciousness still monitoring galactic communications. Other species will learn what happened here. Good, Maya smiled. Let them learn. Let the galaxy know that humanity doesn't just survive, we transcend. We take whatever challenges the universe throws at us and use them to become something greater. James, studying the data from their victory, looked up with his augmented eyes glowing. We've only scratched the surface of what's possible. The technology we've developed, the evolutionary advances we've made, this is just the beginning. The war was over, but humanity's journey was just beginning. Project Phoenix had succeeded beyond its creator's wildest dreams, not just saving humanity but transforming it. The Meridians had come expecting to find primitive survivors hiding in the ruins of their civilization. Instead, they had triggered humanity's next evolutionary leap. As Maya watched the sun rise over a liberated Earth, she knew that the galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had proven itself not just resilient, but transcendent. Whatever challenges came next, they would be ready. Because that's what humans do best, they adapt, they evolve, and they emerge stronger than ever.